Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I was going through my old videos that I had to delete off YouTube, and I thought, you know what, some people have seen some of my older videos but some people haven't, and I thought it would be a really good idea to repost some of the most important parts like of our fertility journey, because I'll tell you something, this journey has not been straightforward at all. So I thought I would post the Hycosy video. I have just watched it back and did a little bit of tweaking to it, and I cried. I cried. It was, I think because it was such a sad video, I can remember how I felt in that moment of when I was meant to have my Hycosy done, and oh my god, like, wow, we've come so far from back then. So that was when we were 2 years trying to conceive, and that's when I had my Hycosy. So I thought I would repost it just so people that are having a Hycosy or don't know what Hycosy is, they can watch the video and kind of get a little bit of an inkling as to what kind of happens. Obviously mine was not good news, so it is going to be different for everyone. There's some people that go for the Hycosy and obviously they can scan and everything is fine, whereas mine unfortunately wasn't like that. So, but it's a real video, it's very raw, and I just thought that it was important to put that up just so then you kind of get the idea of how our fertility journey went. It was a rocky road. So yeah, I will leave it here, roll the tapes, and by the way, I really miss my eyelashes, because in this video I had my fake eyelashes on and kind of miss it a little bit. So yeah, kind of want my eyelashes done again now. Yeah, anyway, that's an afterbirth thing. Right, I'll grab a cup of tea, maybe some tissues, because shit's about to get emotional, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Good morning, everybody. Today I have got my Hycosy test. So the reason that we haven't told anyone is purely the fact of, so even before this Hycosy, we've had quite a few people like asking, you pregnant, you pregnant, you pregnant, like all that stuff. And obviously with the whole fertility thing and like the problems and stuff like that, it's just so draining, and it's just like, I just, please everyone just stop asking like if we're pregnant. Like it's bad enough, you know, that we've had PID, we've been trying for obviously nearly 2 years. So just for people just to keep asking and asking, it's just like, oh my god, just leave it. Just so no one asks any questions, and we kind of get to enjoy, like, just no one asking all the time, if you know what I mean. So yeah, we've chosen not to tell anyone. Yeah, I've got the Hycosy at 11:30 today, and it is about 9:20. So I will vlog just before I go in. I can't vlog in there, but I will also vlog the moment that I come out. So I will let you guys know how it went, how I felt. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not going to be too bad. But yeah. But I just think with the hike, so I am cycle day 11, and I got my 2 positive ovulation tests on the day, cycle day 12 last month. You can have sex literally like straight after the Hycosy. Like if you feel okay, obviously in yourself, because it can be quite a painful procedure apparently. So if you actually feel okay in yourself, then you can literally have sex like straight after it if you really wanted to. But it all depends on obviously how I feel. If I'm in pain and stuff like that, then let's be honest, I'm not going to. But so the Hycosy, it has been shown, I don't know the actual like figures, but it has been shown that there's been quite a few women that have fallen pregnant after the Hycosy because like there's something in the dye that basically like stimulates something, and yeah, it can cause women to fall pregnant. So if anyone doesn't know, the Hycosy is an ultrasound where they basically put a catheter up into your uterus and they let out some dye, and it goes through your fallopian tubes and your ovaries to check for blockages. So they do tell me there and then if I do have a blockage. So my last blood test, I was actually borderline for ovulation, which is a bit exciting because I never had that. Obviously I had my 2 positive ovulations, but I just thought, am I actually ovulating or not? But it's clear blue. So on my advanced one, it just came up saying hi, but this was on the digital clear blue one, and I had 2 smiley faces on both days. And then yeah, this one my blood test came up as borderline. So I think we are slowly getting there. So hopefully we won't need Clomid, but I'm hoping this Hycosy test will just flush everything through and it will do its job. I know I'm kind of hyping it up a little bit that I'm going to be pregnant, but I might not be, let's be honest. It might not happen, but I don't know. I think I'm just kind of keeping a little bit of positivity there that this Hycosy could potentially do its business, and hopefully in the next like month or 2 I could be pregnant. Eek. But yeah, I will film just before I go in. So my Hycosy is at the Princess Anne Hospital in Southampton. So yeah, I got to take paracetamol an hour before the procedure, and I think it only takes about half an hour, but apparently it is. There's some women that have turned around and said like it's the worst thing they've ever had like in their life, and there's other women that's like it's uncomfortable but it's fine. I'm hoping I'm the latter and it won't be too bad, hopefully. Can't be any worse than childbirth, right? Find out. I'll be back just before I go in to have my test. See you in a bit. Hi guys, so I completely forgot my camera, so I'm having to use my mobile. So I have just got here at Princess Anne Hospital, all the way down there. I'm literally, the nerves have kicked in massively. Very, very nervous. I feel very sick. Breathe. God. Right, I'm gonna start walking in. Oh my God, I'm shaking. Really, really nervous, guys. But it'll be fine. It's a good thing that why I'm doing this. I will find out if I have a blockage there and then. Oh God, guys, literally so nervous. Right, I'm gonna get going because my appointment's in like 8 minutes. Wish me luck. I'll see you in a bit. I'm sorry guys, but I nearly died. Climbing up that. Dodgy. Very dodgy.
You kindly rescued Nico, and also you're very bonded quickly. You quickly built up a way of reassuring him. He gives me the name Amanda, so I don't know if that's somebody in your life currently or coming into your life. And I'm also very psychic, so sometimes they'll give me names.
Hi everyone. So I know I was meant to film after I came out of my Hycosy. However, I've not been in a very good place since my appointment. So I promised myself that I wasn't going to get upset on this vlog. However, it's just happening, isn't it? So yesterday I cried all the tears that I thought that I would ever have in my life. Apparently not, because my eyes are still leaking. Anyway, so my Hycosy didn't happen. So I went down to theatre and the nurse obviously set everything up. The doctor came in and they scan you, like an internal scan to begin with, just to make sure that everything's okay. And then that is when they then perform the Hycosy. So they put the catheter up into your cervix. So we got as far as the first scan, and he scanned my right side. Everything was fine. He said that I had my dominant follicle was there. It all looked in proportion. It looked absolutely fine. And then he then went over to my left side, and he was struggling to get like an angle on my ovary and my tube, and he was there for a good kind of 10 minutes trying to get measurements, or just to try and get just an angle so he can see it. Anyway, he then called for people to come in to help, and that's when I knew straight away that something wasn't right. So another one of the, I think he was like one of the head, like the head doctors, I think that's what they're called. I don't really know. Anyway, he came in, and the man that was doing my scan was obviously speaking to him and saying that this is the right, blah blah blah, and then this is like the left, and then it was all literally like such a blur. But I can remember they were like asking me what happened when I had my scan with the whole PID thing. Asked if anyone had mentioned like some really long words to me. I can't remember for the life of me what they said, but like, oh, has anyone ever mentioned this word, this word, this word? And I was like, no. And they're like, okay. And then, sorry guys, literally, it's such a blur, even though it only happened yesterday. But when you go in thinking you're having a Hycosy, obviously you kind of get psyched up to that, and then suddenly it doesn't happen, and your whole world just comes down around you. Anyway, so the guy that was scanning me did mention to the doctor that came in, he was over by my left side, and he said it looks ovarian. Obviously I still don't really know like what he means by that. I don't know, obviously there's so many things that it could mean. It could be cysts, obviously ovarian cancer. It could just mean that like the infection is more in my ovaries. So yeah, they didn't really explain that. So they both agreed that the Hycosy couldn't go ahead because my left fallopian tube is still very swollen. If you've seen my vlog before about me going to hospital, you'll kind of know what happened there. If you haven't, then just go back and watch it. It will explain it all on there rather than me explain it all again. So yeah, basically, so the antibiotics that I was taking would have and should have cleared up the initial bacterial infection that was there. However, the swelling is still there. So they finished doing the scan and they sat me up, and he basically said, right, we'll just, you know, we'll just talk about it for a minute. And I was like, okay. And he said, so we can't do the Hycosy today because there's a chance that if there is an infection there, the dye will push it up basically into like more of my uterus and my womb, which is completely fair enough. Like I get that, yes, couldn't be done. I was so like in shock, where obviously I had another doctor come in, I had like 1 or 2 more nurses come in, they were all talking amongst themselves, I had no idea what was going on. It was very, very daunting, and I was really, really scared because I had no idea what was going on. Obviously Stu couldn't come with me, so I was on my own. They sat me up and he basically just spoke about my options. So they've basically said that in a week and 5 days I have to go back and have another rescan. If the swelling has gone down considerably, then they will then perform the Hycosy. But there was a bit of mixed words and a bit of confusion, because he said that once there's swelling there and it basically doesn't go, it's not going to go. And I had swelling when I had my gynae scan, and obviously the swelling is still there now, so I don't really know if that means that it's just not going to go. But either way, I think it's positive that they've asked me to come back in a week and 5 days to have another rescan, because if they could have potentially just said there and then, well, it hasn't gone down since your gynecologist appointment, so it's not going to go down, so that's it basically. But they didn't. They are going to rescan me in a week and 5 days. Luckily, I phoned the fertility clinic. I basically said, look, I don't expect my partner to be in there like while I have the procedure. Like, no, like not at all, and I completely understand why he can't. But it's more of a, I'm not very good at taking in information, and especially when you're under like all of that, it's hard to listen to what they're like trying to tell you. I'm just not very good at relating it back and remembering like everything that they said. So I phoned them and just said, can my partner at least like just come into the waiting room, wait until I've had the scan, like okay, whatever they're gonna do. If they do anything, they will do a rescan definitely, but the Hycosy, I don't know. But I just said, for the results of the scan, like don't. So when I had my Hycosy yesterday, they had the screen there, and the man was also talking me through it, like what I could see, what he could see, blah blah blah. Basically, what I want is on my next scan, anything like, obviously he can talk, he can say this is your uterus, you know, blah blah, but just don't tell me anything like at all until after he scanned me. If it's bad, then Stu will be then called in with me, and then we will then be told together, because I'm not gonna lie, yesterday was really hard. Yesterday was really hard because I was on my own, and I had to phone Stu after my appointment, after I got out of the hospital. And of course I was not in a good place, I was not in a good way. So obviously Stu didn't like the fact that I was obviously so beside myself. I was so upset, and he wasn't there. Obviously we both didn't know that the scan was going to turn out like that, so we were none of the wiser. So Stu's basically just said like, no, like in a week and 5 days I'm coming with you, whether you like it or not. It's not a question. I am coming with you. So he has put the day off work, bless him. Which, don't get me wrong, I could do it again, like it's fine, but it's just upsetting when you hear bad news, isn't it? We've been trying for almost 2 years, and it's getting worse and worse. Like nothing is actually getting any better. But I thought with the antibiotics, that with the issue that I had with it being swollen, it would have cleared it up, which the infection may well be cleared, but the swelling is still very much there. So if the swelling doesn't go on my next scan, then they have said that they are going to have to remove my fallopian tube and my ovary, which for some people probably isn't a big deal. It's not an issue, but to me it is. It's a very, very big issue. It doesn't necessarily mean that I can't get pregnant, because even with my left side gone, I still do have my right, and on observation it looks normal, it looks okay. Obviously they don't know if I've got a blockage in my right side until they do the Hycosy. They can't do the Hycosy until either my swelling's gone on my left or they have to remove it. So I think the best obviously outcome is the swelling's gone and they can perform the Hycosy, and that's it. So I get my results and go from there. The next better option is they remove my left side and they do the Hycosy and my right side isn't blocked, and it's fine, because then at least I can still conceive. However, if they have to remove my left and my right side is blocked or whatever, then I don't know as of yet what options we are left with. It's all a bit of a grey area. Obviously we haven't come to the IVF part yet, because we didn't think that we would ever have to. I am trying to stay positive, even though my face says otherwise. But if I don't try and stay positive, it's literally, I'm just going to be in a very, very bad way for the next week and 5 days. And I've got Harry to look after. I can't get myself like this. I've got to pick myself up, carry on as normal, try and not think about it, even though it's all that I'm thinking about, because we've tried for so long to have a baby and there's just so many bumps in the road before we can even start to try and conceive again. It's just hard. I know there's women out there that have or are in like a complete worse situation than me and Stu, and I feel your pain like so much. We haven't been told no yet, so we've got to kind of got to hold on to that we haven't been told no. We still have a few options ahead of us, whereas there's some couples that they don't have any options left and it's the end of the road for them. And I hope to God that doesn't happen, but we just got to wait and see. Sorry guys, I think it's still just such a shock, like, to the system. I think where I just didn't expect that at all, I just expected them to do a Hycosy. I think the worst thing that I expected was for them to say that I've got a blockage whilst they're doing the Hycosy. I did not, for the life of me, expect for them not to even do the procedure at all. We are trying to help ourselves in this situation, and things like having a bath, drinking orange juice, obviously it's got vitamin C in it, just things like that, just small little things that could potentially help. They might not at all, but it makes me feel better knowing that I'm trying my hardest, like myself, to try and get the swelling down, and I think that's what I've kind of got to concentrate on. Is I've got to, you know, we don't even know if it's actually going to work, but it's worth a go. Why not? It could make all of the difference. So I didn't film yesterday because I was not in a good way at all. I'm still not really in a good way now, to be honest, but I just needed to breathe a little bit yesterday. But I will maybe vlog like during the week and 5 days, just to kind of give you an update on how I'm feeling. But yeah, I will return to this video in a week and 5 days after I hopefully have my Hycosy.